Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I got to ask this question. Is being ugly a disability? I'll explain why I'm asking this. I came across a Reddit thread the other day saying we need to acknowledge ugly people exist rather than saying things like all people are beautiful, right? That was the title of it. And I started to really think about that question. And you talk about a world of privilege.
Right.
The reality is, like, good-looking people do have advantages that ugly people do not have.
100%.
I'll go into what this thread said as far as his initial writing. He said, ugly people exist, and usually they know they're ugly. I'll argue that and say, a lot of ugly people don't know they're ugly. I didn't know I was ugly for years. Now, as do average people. Fake platitudes about how certain people are, quote-unquote, beautiful in their own special way don't really benefit anyone. The goal should be to make it okay to be ugly and be proud of yourself regardless, and treat ugly people with the same kind of respect as beautiful people or average people, rather than whatever it is we're currently doing on the contrary, because it's degrading, right? In the same way, special needs is degrading. So they put it in that same category, and that's a strong point. I think that's a very strong point. And if you don't believe me, I'll give you some talking points here from research that's been conducted over the years, because I see this stuff pop up all the time when, preparing a morning radio show. Like, research shows that your appearance strongly influences other people's perception of your financial success, authority, trustworthiness, intelligence, and suitability for hire or promotion. You're more likely to get promoted or more likely to get hired if you're good looking.
Exactly.
That means the flip side to that coin is you're very less likely to get the job if you're ugly.
Yeah. Now,
according to this study, good-looking people may be up to 14% smarter than less attractive people. They say attractive male children score 13.6 IQ points higher, and attractive female children score 11.4 IQ points higher. Yeah. Don't necessarily know why. Maybe it's genetics. Maybe they hit the genetic lottery, right?
Sure.
They're smart and good-looking. And according to another survey called Work and Power, done by Elle and MSNBC.com, good looks are a trait that both men and women find important. 58% of attractive female bosses got high ratings for being successful at their jobs, while 41% for average-looking females only got 23%. And then there's only 23% for unattractive as far as job rating. So the better looking they were, the higher their employers rated their performance.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And attractive people get paid more too. I am working for bargain basement prices here. This is a direct reflection of my appearance. In fact, actually, I wouldn't even have a morning show right now if I didn't hit the gym and drop like 30, 40 pounds.
Right.
Because I knew the fat guy was always the sidekick. So I had to make that physical change if I was going to put myself even in a position to get the opportunity that I know I earned and deserved, because I put so much time into doing this. So my question to you guys out there is, do you believe being ugly is a disability? We have a $3.1 trillion bailout plan, a stimulus package that got passed recently. Right now, this is going to protect a lot of people in need, right? And it's going to pay a lot of people, give them a little extra.
Yep.
Well, being ugly is a disability. How about some disability pay for the ugly people out there?
Here we go.
To make up the difference for the amount of money that they're losing just based off their physical appearance.
Yeah. Check your privilege, handsome people.
Yeah.
If you're good looking, you have privilege, whether you recognize it or not. And I think this is a topic and a talking point that we need to talk about as a nation. It may unify some of the division that we have when you talk about white privilege and you segregate by race or sex or sexual orientation. This is something that affects everybody equally.
Be careful, Beef. There's a lot of power because there's a lot more ugly people out there than there are handsome.
I know. I'm team ugly.
Uh-oh.
In fact, I'm not only just a spokesperson, I'm also a client of being ugly. It took me decades to realize I was ugly. I kept looking in the mirror thinking I was really good looking.
And you know something? You deserve a check every month for this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
My company that employs me is not going to pay me good-looking money.
Mm-hmm.
The guy across the hall on the AC station, he's a good-looking guy. Yeah. He's fit.
Yep.
All right. He's got a nice, smooth, bald head,
chiseled jaw and chin, and
right. And I don't know this for a fact, but I assume he's making at least twice what I'm making.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
Because he's good-looking.
Right.
So,
Privilege.
So being ugly is a disability. It's something that needs to be addressed. And I'm not saying like, ugly people need their own bathrooms
Yet.
but I would suggest if they do make bathrooms for ugly people, not to have mirrors in them. Yeah.
Just affirmations on the wall. Like, you're great.
Yeah,
Keep it
you're
up,
great.
hardworking.
It's okay to be ugly.
Okay.
Let's go to the phones, see if got a caller that agrees or disagrees. Rock 102.1, who's this?
Hey, it's Mark again. How are you?
Good, man. Do you believe being ugly is a disability?
You know what? I've been listening to you guys, so I got to say something. There's a little bit of animosity if you're actually a little bit better looking than your boss to be or whatever, or if you have more capabilities than him and he feels threatened.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, back in the day, I was called, cold hard fox and everything else, and, did a little bit of modeling, stuff like that, so I might be a little bit uglier now, but, I do feel that there's a lot of people that are threatened out there. If they hire somebody that has more capabilities than them, then they're going to be kind of washed out or something.
Well, capabilities.
Yeah, so, I mean, different kind of point of views, and I'll be devil's advocate on that. But I mean, there's a lot of different point of views on that.
Capabilities is one thing, but appearance is another. So, say as an employer, would you hire someone that you felt was better looking than you?
The only time I've been in a position like that, guy was well qualified and everything else, and I felt like I had no choice.
All right. Well, let me ask you this follow-up question real quick. Okay. You've been good looking and now you're ugly, I'm assuming. All right. So which life felt more privileged, Mark? The model Mark or the everyday working man Mark?
Chiseled abs Mark?
Yeah.
Sad droopy man tits.
Or the six pack. Yeah. The beer gut Mark. Which life felt more privileged?
If you're butt ugly like a skunk or something like that, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're doing a construction job or what. But I mean, if you're like going into the corporate world or you're representing the company and stuff like that, yeah, they might take a look at how your mannerisms are with your character and your looks, and
all right, so
they might evaluate it different ways.
Right, but your personal preference, when you were model Mark, you had more privileged life. Yeah, Rico's trying to answer for you.
Yes,
I gotta let you go, Mark. I had another call here I had to answer, but thank you for your call. I appreciate it. Right? I'm not hanging up on you because you're not good looking anymore. Just to let you know. All right.
No. I didn't say I was butt ugly. I just said, I'm a little bit older.
Yeah. I mean, we all think that's the thing about looks. They fade, man. And eventually everyone will have this disability. Yeah. Time wins. All right. So if you don't have that disability now, you will. Huh?
This is a disability now. Maybe I ought to go into radio. Shit.
Nah. Thanks for that, Mark. I'll talk to you later. I had to hit the dump on Mark too, because there you go. So that's the question I'm asking today. 600 KFMA, that's 600-5362. Is being ugly a disability? Sound off.